Alright, you boys here? What do we listen to? Okay. Alright, boys, test. Yes, no. Yep, cool. Right. So, before we begin, I want to say something. I've said it before, I've said it again. This is gonna be one of the last reviews I will do for this season. Now, that being said, I will continue to do reviews in 8.3, and I'm thinking of putting my guide from my Discord. This guide, I'm thinking of just making it into a YouTube video, which is gonna take like 15 minutes. And this guide is gonna be focused more towards 8.3. What should we aim for? Corruption stuff, essences, extra slot of essences, and so on. It's gonna be put into a video, which is gonna be due to come in the beginning of 8.3, or just right before it begins. The reason why I'm stopping to do VoD reviews is because season 3 is almost over, 7 more weeks to go, and this is gonna be review number 7, right? So far so good. We started out something as, you know, we started this as a something that we didn't really expect us to grow that much, but for the past 10 weeks, give or take, even 12 weeks, from 50 views on my YouTube, I started to get 5,000. That's like insane amount of growth for like such a short period of time. Obviously there's some haters here and there, like 2 downvotes is fine, you know, it's okay, but at the end of the day, it's all about helping people, and then, you know, showing what I know to you guys, so you learn. Hopefully one day you become where I am right now, and then enjoy high rankings. Also, very important to improve as a team, and also leave the Rider.io hell. I know that most of you are stuck around 2k, like even below 2k score or above 2k score, looking for improvements. But this is gonna be towards you guys and how to play King's Rest. So let's begin. Those who are late, well, you're late. This is gonna be uploaded in YouTube. Anyway, let's begin. First thing first, do I need to show my talents, guys, or did I already show it? Chat, do you want me to show my talents here, or do you already know what I'm running? I'm running Storm Elemental, obviously. Do you want me to show you my talents right now, or do you know what I'm running? If not, I can begin. Pretty important to have a team. To some extent, depends. To some extent, this depend on what keys do you show? Alright, hold on a second then. Let me... so those are the talents I was running in this King's Rest. This was the talents I was running in King's Rest 24. You can screenshot this, you can check it past in my VoD, and you can take a look at it. The reason why I chose Storm Elemental over Master of the Elements for specifically King's Rest is because I knew that my team is gonna pull constantly 4 to 5 mobs at a time. Based on that, I said, well, it would only make sense for me to go Storm Elemental. The reason because is on 4 or more mobs, Storm Ellie outperforms Master of the Elements. And I just give it. Show Bobs and Vegeta, not today. It's just the better choice. That's not the case in every key though. It's just depending on the way you pull and the way you play the week and the way the affixes are rolling and stuff like this. Anyway, let's begin. Right, non-copyright background music, because last time I got striked because I had a copyright music. Fuck's sake. This music tilts me. Tilts me. Tilts me. No. Good. Okay. First thing first. Now, before I start every key, I usually tell the guys I coach or the guys that ask me for advice, I tell them one thing and one thing only. You always want to start the dungeon as a shaman with 100 Maelstrom. The reason why is because you get a free earthquake whenever you engage the first pack. It's the same thing to every class. A rogue, for example, can get a pre-rolls and also extra 5 combo points to keep their alacrity. That's the haste buff. A DH can use a pre-meta, as you can see. My DH just used a pre-meta and he has a 30 seconds meta before he even engages the pack. Now, as a monk or as a druid, okay, monk cannot do anything, but druid can get 5 combo points before he starts the dungeon, which is somehow okay. Like, it's not as relevant as for a healer, but it's okay. It's somehow a small advantage. That being said, we're rolling the key right now. I'm muting myself here, so you don't have to see me. And I'm rolling the clip for yourself. I'm gonna be stopping the clip from time to time just to explain you why we do that and why, you know, why my team does what they did to time this key. Okay, so as an alliance, if you want to play the start as an alliance, you have few options. Okay, option number 1 is your healer runs mass root, and mass roots these shadow Zeus, those small minions right here. Mass root, then you kill them as an alliance, or you have a priest with a master spell. But since it's bolstering, you know that those minions will bolster the guys if they don't not pulled away. So the general strategies here is you're gonna pull this guardian right to the next guardian, and you're gonna use master spell, or you're gonna use your belf or your cloak as a rogue, or even a DH can go and use his belf. That's the standard purge. As a horde, as an alliance, you probably can use mass root and then go in and kill them all. That's something to consider again. Now we chose to use ratios, which is like the standard pool for anything when it comes down to a group composition. So you're gonna be going in. Obviously, I'm waiting right here behind, so I don't want to engage combat. So you know, I want to get my pre-pot on. So before I do anything, I know that this VoD Emissary will put me in combat for sure. Now, usually, you guys know that I've told you before, if you have 4 targets or more, you always want to use flat potion of intellect. So supreme battle potion of intellect. Well, the reason here why I use Unbridled Fury is because I know that by the time I reach this pack and gain the value out of the Unbridled Fury, this is gonna be almost over. So therefore I decided, okay, sorry, flat potion of intellect. So therefore I decided, okay, I'm gonna use Unbridled Fury because it's 1 minute long, right? So I can get somehow a value out of that potion. Because the VoD Emissary instantly puts you in combat when you like see the VoD Emissary, when you like, you know, line it. I mean, when you line, you don't get in combat, but when you see it, that procs, you know, you get in combat by that. So I use my pot instantly, then use my trinket on cooldown, so I don't waste any time casting it mid-pack. I never cast this trinket mid-pack. Never. Unless it's a very, very special occasion that I know that certain mobs will be, you know, certain mobs will, for example, last forever, and I can just use my trinket with the combination of my Storm Elemental and so on. So going in, my tank pulls to the right, my rogue goes in and uses Purge, the standard as I said, nothing too complicated. Now look what am I gonna do. Now I know that before we chain those 2 guardians in the front, you have to take care of the Emissary. If you start chaining guardians here, and you blasting those guardians right here, he will most likely die, because this VoD Emissary has 5.3 million HP. So he needs to die ASAP. Now look what I'm doing. I told you before, you never want to pop your big cooldowns on just two mobs. Okay? So you never want to pop your cooldowns on just 2 mobs. Now, I have decided to do something else. I'm gonna spam only lava bursts up until the point that the Emissary is low enough and those constructs are right here, so I can pop my big cooldowns. I'm delaying my Storm Elemental by just a bit. Look at this. Lining the first one, lusting. I'm gonna wait for those to come right here, so I can use my pet. Do you know the Eye of the Storm, the pet ability? It's a on target use, so you have to choose one target. You're gonna press your pet ability, and this target will get melted because of that. The combination of that combo is really extremely strong for like burst-ish type of scenario targets. So, I'm waiting for those to come. Look at this. Insta Stormkeeper. Now I'm gonna use Blood right here. Blood before I use my first charge of Stormkeeper, as you can see. Now, what I'm gonna do, one stack of Stormkeeper into Earthquake, into Eye of the Storm, one more Stormkeeper, and look at this. This is already melting. Look at this. His HP is dropping. And I keep spamming Chain Lightning. Look at this. I keep spamming Chain Lightnings. That's how you do it when you play Storm Ellie. Okay. Okay, this elemental is done. Blast it. Now this pool is very dangerous for any melee or any tank. The reason why is because if your tank doesn't know how to tank them, most of the times you're gonna get random charges like here and here and here and here. It's gonna be just a mess. As a range, you can just outrange it. You go right here and you just outrange everything, right? But the case with melee is not that. It's not that simple as a melee. You have to actually play the game. Now look what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna keep spamming Chain Lightnings into Earthquakes. Nothing too complicated, just a standard way to deal damage. Okay. Now, as a team, you have two options. Usually, when these mobs are about to die, you send your healer or you send your DH to click the gong that starts the animation. You know the event before the first boss, when the mobs appear, it's like 20 seconds long. So before these mobs die, one of you, preferably the healer, has to go and click the event. So you save that seconds to shave it off. Very important. Okay, they're gonna die here. Thunder build, chain lighting, earthquakes, chain lighting. Yep, nothing too complicated. Keeping one flame shock at a time. There we go. As you can see, my blood is coming on cooldown. But these mobs are about to die, so it's not worth for me to use it, right? I'm just gonna hold it and pair it up with my trinket and my Stormkeeper. Because these mobs are about to die, so it's not worth for me to actually use that blood. The most important, when you play bolstering, the most important and time saver is to play the bolster correctly. Therefore, you have to make sure that these mobs die at the same time. Now look at this, something that most of the groups don't do. When you play King's Rest, look at now where our rogue is. Do you see this? Our rogue is right here. Now, does any of you know in the chat why my rogue is right here before we even engage the pool? Does any from the chat know why my rogue is right here before we even start the pool? What is the reason rogue is right here? What he would do? Dispel minions to kill fear boys. I know. Cloak and dispel and vanish. Yep, that's it. Little ones. He's lagging. Yeah, that must be it. Cloak fears. Yes. What he's gonna do? He's gonna use his cloak and ratio to clear them. Or you can even use your cloak only. You don't even need to use ratio. Only your cloak is fine, because the mobs trigger. These mobs trigger only and only when you are in combat with them. So he's gonna stay here, use the ratio and cloak, and then vanish. He answered first, true. Okay, so once these mobs are out of the way, by the way, these mobs bolster. So if you decide to purge them while because they patrol from here to here to here and to here. If you decide to purge them right here or right here, they're gonna bolster those mobs. And I'm telling you, when those mobs are bolstered by like 7 stacks, you just don't want to be in a key. You're gonna get one shot. So he dispels the minions before we start the key, the pool, and we're rolling right now. Now look at this. instantly, what I do instantly, I know that now my tank is gonna need time to set up this pool and this pool right here in the middle. So as a tank, you have a melee interrupt, you know? So there is no way for you to interrupt that unless there's a DH with the range interrupt or a caster with a range interrupt. So what I do right now is instantly put this guy, look at this, press Stormkeeper, prep potion, and look at this. Where is it? Do it. Insta on focus. In case I'm caught to interrupt. Now watch this. For every group that wants to improve how to get out of the low tier like low score, how to improve. First thing first, you need to have macros. You need to have focus macros. My macros are available to everybody. I can even show you guys. It's very, 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 I don't even know how to stress it. It's so important for you to have the macros to insta set focus them and have you interrupt on bind so you can just instantly kick. Now generally most of the pucks will die because of how uncoordinated they are, right? So there's something that I can tell you how to improve when you don't have the shot caller of your team, right? Before I start any key, I like to assign people a mark. For example, if I play with a DH, with a rogue, and let's say you're a shaman or like anybody, like let's just imagine you're the third player, the third DPS. Let's say you're a shaman, okay? So this is how I like to assign. It's just my markers. So DH is gonna be always Sco. So he's always Sco marker. So whenever you mark something as a Sco, he's gonna be always covering that. A rogue is gonna be always star marker because rogue is a yellow, right? So Sco like star for him. Shaman or anybody else remaining with this third DPS is gonna be always cross. It's gonna be always cross. And then you have a tank which takes usually moon for us. Either moon or you can take a nipple. The nipple is the orange one. So let's say tank is gonna be moon. So you have 4 markers assigned to each other. So even if you don't know each other, even if you don't talk to each other, when you assign those markers before you put the key in, people have some kind of a estimate. Okay, well, if I see star, I know that I have to interrupt it, so they will interrupt it. You know, you don't need to actually like communicate all the time. Yo, interrupt this, you interrupt this. You know, you don't need to do that. Just assign them 4 markers before you put the key in, right? I'm talking about like 16, 17s and above. You need to have that. You know, if you want to improve, that's the first step to improve. You need to have interrupt markers. First of all, you need to have your interrupt binded. Okay. Anyway, let's roll the key. Now, standard rotation. I did one mistake here. I did not cast my trinket. That's a big mistake for me. I did not cast my trinket. That's like a -2 seconds loss on a key. So blood, Stormkeeper, earthquake. Keep casting shit. How do you quickly do markers? I have them bind on my mouse, on my wheel up, wheel down, and stuff like this. Now, the only reason why I use my AG as a talent here is because I know on this pool, my melees are gonna get stacks of this debuff all the time. Because those mobs, the warriors, they do a random slash. Like they have these small tornadoes that circle around them, and if you are as a DPS take 1 tick of that, it's like really bad. On like a high fortified key, like look at this, it ticks like so much. It's just unnecessary damage. So what I did is I took AG because I knew that I could prevent the upcoming damage by like a small margin on my healer. Therefore my healer could just focus more on a DPS side. In the high keys, most of the times it's all about DPS or HPS check. Most of the times. Sometimes it's just coordination. Putting the key to roll. AG up, I'm healing my members. Not by a lot, but it's like decent amount, you know? Like probably casually around 5 to 6k HPS, even 7 peaking sometimes. I got hit as well. Look at this. I got hit insta-wall because I know that my wall will not be useful up until the boss, right? So it's just free to press the wall. That's your defensive. You don't lose anything. It's not global cooldown. You reduce the damage. You reduce the upcoming damage of you, And also at the same time, I'm trying to stay in the F-low. So my healer gets passive healing on me. So therefore, he gets higher HPS and he can focus more on kind of a DPS side of the story. Because he needs to pump DPS. Anyway, killing this pack, it's a standard rotation. Chain lightning earthquakes with a flame shock up on targets, nothing too complicated. You already know that. We've been talking this for the past 5 reviews. It's nothing to discuss right here. They're gonna die. Obviously, as I said, you have to play bowstring really good. You need to make sure they die at the same time. Now, I said it before, I say it again. The only difference between high rated players and low rated players is one thing: cooldown usage. Most of the teams and players know when to use cooldowns. They have to know, you know. Sometimes you have to know when to hold cooldowns and when to use cooldowns. In this kind of case, I have one choice. If I use my blood here, right, on these mobs, what could I pair this blood with to increase my damage overall? Like, now look, I just got 2 procs back to back. I got 2 aftershock procs back to back, so therefore it's useful for me to use the blood because I would enhance the damage. If I use the blood now, I'm probably gonna have the blood midway this pack. And I really want to have my cooldowns for the boss because boss on 24 fortified, it hurts as well, right? So you kind of have to estimate, okay, if I didn't have any procs, then I shouldn't have used my blood, right? But since I got double aftershock proc back to back, then instantly snap, blood on. Can you hold on a second. Can you tell me about using lava burst in trash? I see you're using a lot of chain lightings, so when would you use lava burst? If you play Storm Elemental, you never hardcast lava burst up until the point that, for example, you need to dodge a certain mechanic, and then you have to, you know, move to left or move right, then you can use your proc. But I usually, when I use Storm Elemental, I never ever use the lava burst proc unless I need to dodge, for example, tornadoes here and here. I'm gonna use lava burst to move. That's in AoE. In second target, I will use it, obviously. Okay. Playing bowstring stacks perfectly so far. We don't lose any time. Now, I'm gonna go here, insta-pot, because I'll get in combat. And then again. Okay. Why am I AFK? Wait, I was AFK for like 1 second. Did you guys see this? I was AFK for like 1 second. I was alt and tabbing on 24 keys. I'm a monkey. I'm alt and tab. Alright, whatever. And I forgot. Am I in time for VoD review? Yep, just started like 10 minutes ago. Okay. Okay. Easy peasy, nothing too complicated. We already talked about that. That's a standard rotation, guys. I don't need to show you the rotation. You already know it. Okay. Okay, blasting those creeps. Play bowstring stacks correctly. As you can see, now I precast lava burst hard because I want to focus more on the single target. This is gonna die. Okay. Now, precasting trinket before the boss. Potting, Stormkeeper on, easy. And then again, now you have 1 tides with you. Usually as a caster, you should never ever hard focus the tides if it's paired with a boss. Flame shock on, that's it. You don't need to cleave it hard. Now there's a few ways to play this boss. My team likes to go this side, so we can go from this side up until this side, and you always put the paddles behind you. It's very useful. You can either crowd control those ads with like a mass root or like a blind paralysis, banish, any crowd control, stun, slow, vortex, pushback, anything. Ring of peace, or you can just kill them. Your roll can blade flurry them. Your DH can use blade dance on them. Pretty much they're gonna die. You can use beam on them. As you can see right now, I just slow them, I stun them, and I control them pretty much. I'm the guy that controls that because I am a ranged. But I don't like a Shard's Trinket. It feels so weird to find time to use it if you're chain pulling. Yeah, I forgot to use it twice here. That's like a minus 5 seconds already in the run. Only because of me, I forgot to use them. Okay. Standard boss. You know, you already know how to play this boss. No need to explain. But yeah, forgot about that. Storm Elemental and Master of the Elements are in the same row. Yep. So you're using Storm Elemental always when fortified or just in specific dungeons. Just in specific dungeons, it does depend on affixes, on a key level, and also on a group composition. It's not like just, you know, written rule. As you can see, we control that with Flame Shock, slow, stun, anything. Look at this, stun again. I mean, slow again. Now, this is one of the rare cases where I cast my trinket during a boss fight. Usually, I never hard cast this trinket mid boss fight, but just because it's a long fight, I could get the whole value of my trinket if I cast it. Therefore, I decided to cast my trinket and just keep pumping the boss. So would you go Master of the Elements of the most times? No, most of the times I go Storm Elemental. I don't go Master of the Elements, but that's just most of the times. Sometimes I'm playing Master of the Elements. Okay. Skipping this boss, I mean, you just run in a circle pretty much. You Flame Shock the ads for extra procs, and that's it. Don't forget to add the importance of gaming gunners in your guide. Sure. Okay. Fast forward. This boss is gonna die. You just run in a circle like a pumpo, and that's it. You just blast the boss, control the ads. That's it. Nothing too complicated. Now, look at this. When this boss dies, my team instantly goes here, because before you engage the next, we call it mini boss room. There's a small event that you need to activate. That's like a 5 seconds to activate, right? Most of the teams, they lose timers because they just don't play fast enough, you know? They just wait pull after pull to set up this and wait 2 seconds here, 2 seconds there. Every second matters in these high keys. Every second. So my team went to instantly trigger the event, which takes 5 seconds to trigger, and I can run from here all the way there in like 5 seconds from now. So we don't actually lose any time. No downtime is the key to success. No downtime. Look at this. My team already went to trigger the event and I'm running. So minimizing downtime is a priority to getting speed. Now, as I said, very important when to use your cooldowns. How to use your cooldowns. Now, look at this. It's only 2 mobs. Now, do I use my Storm Elemental? Do I use my blood? I don't have blood. So I decided, because we have Lust ready, we have Storm Elemental and blood together. So I decided to hold my every cooldown. My trinket, my blood, my Storm Ellie, and Lust. I only use Stormkeeper because I know that by the time this pack dies, my Stormkeeper will get resetted anyway. Can you explain when you play Lord Trinket and when Nautilius? I play Lord Trinket when we don't pull big enough. I play Lure when we play like dungeons that you know that you don't pull that much. For example, Tempo, King's Rest, Siege of Borlos. That's pretty much it on top of my head. I mean, I could have paid attention, but obviously didn't. So when are you using Storm Elemental in boss fight? Do you use Lava Burst proc or just hard lava? So when I use Storm Elemental in the boss, I only spam Lightning Bolts and Earth Shocks. But when I move left and right, and then I use Lava Burst procs, you know, to minimize the downtime. Even when you dodge mechanic, you just don't want to stop casting. So this is where I use them. Precast my trinket before we engage the pack. Stormkeeper with pot, Lust. Look at this burst now. Boom, boom, destroyed. Look at this, 300k on 5 mobs, 350k on 5 mobs, boys. Tell me what other range could generate 5 million in 12 seconds. 5 million in 12 seconds. Tell me what other range could generate that amount of burst. These mobs, look at this. They are like 70% HP. Look at them. What are you saying applies to all DPS, right? I wouldn't say all DPS. DPS DK and Holy, but DK is in range though. I'm just talking about range specifically. Sure, DPS and Holy can probably beat, like, DK and Holy will probably blast me. Fire could be the case, but Fire needs a ramp up time, and Fire Elemental has only 10 seconds of burst. But sure, maybe Fire could beat me here. Maybe. Okay, so far 8 million for 30 seconds, 35 seconds. Do you know if there's a way to display burst timers for trash like big wigs does for bosses? Yes, there is. It's called mini wigs. No, mini boss? No. Little wigs? I don't know. I'll show you. I have another one. And on 5 targets, the Holy won't do that much damage. It needs 2 bigger packs. True. Little Wicks, yep. So, as you can see, I was doing Earth Shocks. You guys have to pay attention. Like, sure, listen to me and watch me, but you have to pay attention to this box. I want you to watch this box right here. This is where all the juice is. All the juice you need to know is right in this box. So, I was casting even Earth Shocks on the big guy because you have to play bolstering correctly. If you bolster one guy to oblivion, then obviously you will lose time. It's all about time gain, you know. Okay. Now again, this trash pack is dead. Pre-pot, Stormkeeper. I always use it, but for trash I can't see any bars. Did you activate it for trash? VoD? I can check for you afterwards. Okay, so playing these 3 mobs on a high keys is very tricky, right? There's one way to do it. You can either outrange him right here, you can outrange him here, or just LOS the cast of the axe guy, this guy Atu. Atu does axe barrage, and it deals a lot of DPS on the team. This is one of the reasons why I had like the only reason why I had AG, because when he pops this shit, I want to make sure my team gets extra healing from my AG. Therefore, we won't wipe. So the longer you kite, the longer you tank kites, or the longer you run, you lose value as a shaman. So you have to make sure that you stay stable. Up to how many targets do you use Flame Shock? Every target within cooldowns. When do you stop using Lava Burst procs? When there's no movement. I would say when I fight 3 mobs, I like to keep 3 Flame Shocks. When I fight 5 or 10 mobs, I like to keep 1 Flame Shock. If I fight 2 mobs, I keep 2 Flame Shocks. Very situational, I would say. I stop using Lava Burst procs when I fight 4 or more mobs. I only use them when I move left and right. That's pretty much it. Now, as I said, a good DPS know when to use cooldowns, when to hold cooldowns. Now look at this. I know that when we play this pack, there is one more pack. There's one giant in a bridge, right? And I know this is like 2.5 minutes cooldown of my Storm Elemental. So I need to make sure I have a Storm Elemental for the blobs in the second boss room. So what I would do, I'm gonna use my cooldowns instantly here, and then I'm gonna kill the middle construct in the middle, and then by the time my Storm Elemental should be back on cooldown. So you have to know when to use cooldowns, when to hold cooldowns. As I said, very importantly, this comes only with practice and experience. You cannot learn it just like this. Practice and experience. So I decided to use my cooldowns here. So they will be back for the blob room. General rule: 2 flame shocks on each target. You have to wait a couple of seconds before the Storm Ellie applies that debuff. Look at this, insta purge. As a shaman you can purge. You know, Vase does a charm, like she charms you, and then you can cast spells on your team players. As a shaman you can instantly purge that shit. That's a DH as well you can do. So DH shaman, a hunter with a purge can do it. You can use ratio, belf ratio, and so on. It's in general very useful. Look at this. Now I know most of you ask me when to use earthquakes on 2 targets. I'll tell you again. When those targets do not kite or stay in one place, you can use earthquake. If your tank consistently kites 2 mobs around like a headless chicken, then you can use earth shocks. It's very simple. Now I'm gonna roll the clip back for you, just a second. Did you just see what happened? Look at this. I'm gonna slow it for you. I want you to look at this. Look at my mouse cursor right now. Look at this. Look where my mouse is. Look where my mouse is. The only reason why my mouse is right here is because this Vasi will cast a mind control or like a charm that will go on one of the players. And I have to be sure I dispel really fast. Look at this now. Okay, take a look, close look. Applying flame shock. Earthquake here. Look where I place earthquake. So these mobs, this is the earthquake. Okay. Now, do you know why I place my earthquake right here? Do you know the reason why I place my earthquake here, not on them? Is because I know that, look at my tank pattern. I know that my tank will go this way. Okay. So it does make sense for me to put the earthquake in the way that when he kites this way, I still get the full benefit of the earthquake. You know? So it's very important to predict your tank movements. On the weeks like Sanguine, Necrotic, Bowstring, any kiting week, you have to know where your tank is gonna go. Even if you don't know them, you have to see the pattern he's running. Sometimes you can't predict that, sometimes you can. But this comes only with experience. Okay? Something that you have to take a look. Now look at this. I'm killing these mobs. Now, immediately when this casted seduction, look at my mouth, bam. Immediately when I saw the seduction, immediately my mouse went over the frames and I was ready. So I saw the Munchaya is getting targeted, so I'm ready to dispel. Look at this now. Look at this. 1. Gone. That's it. It took me like less than a second. 0.5 seconds reaction time to dispel. He wasn't even able to do anything. Insta-purge. You have to be ready and fast with the fingers if you don't want to lose downtime. And he just charged in, that's it. No downtime. You know? I don't have Blood of the Enemy because I've been lazy with PvP, so it's been wise to play with Strong Elemental for me. If so, are my stats okay? Crit 32, haste 16, master 32, verse 11. No, master is too high. Drop master, get more haste. You can also play Iris Major. Okay. Now this is a standard pool, nothing too complicated. You're gonna kill the constructs. Usually as a ranged, you should help your healer always with the enchanted emissary. Now something that healers, if there's any healers in the chat, your ranged DPS should help you with the emissary. In fact, any DPS can help you with the emissary. This is the most common misperception. Okay, we know it's a healer, just let him deal with the emissary. No. You help together as a team, you know? So you could be very strong as a fingers, but if you don't know how to make a fist out of your members, then you're like nothing, you know? So you need to make sure you help each other. So handling emissary is something that you have to do. At the end of the pack, if you have 60 master, do you Earth Shock the last mob? If it's like 15-10% HP when you get max 2 casts off before the mob dies, or do you save master if the next pack has? I always save if I know the next pack is big. Through diet, I always save if I know the next pack consists at least of 2 or more mobs. If it's 1 mob, then I don't hold anything, just use it there. Okay, killing this mob, blah blah blah. Okay, now Precast. Now, most of the range here, they struggle to DPS. I will tell you why. Because it's very hard as a range to cast and play at the same time. Petko, how does your rogue kick the first boss of in tempo with lighting shield up? Does he use focus macro kick? Yes. Pre-trinket, pre-stormkeeper, insta-pot, storm melee. Look at this. Earthquake, blood, earthquake. Now tell me something. Tell me something. I wanna know which other range could do 400k burst in this blob room that you cannot stay in one place and cast. Look at this. 430k. These mobs are already dead. Now, there's a few ways to cheat that. Your healer can dispel you, and your monk can use Tiger's Lust. That's additional dispel. So you can free cast that. First your healer can dispel you, then your tank, if it's monk, he can dispel you as well. So you just stay in free cast. I'm not playing a damage dealer, but your stream is very, very full of useful information. Thank you, dude. It's just more focused right now on everybody, so what they should do and so on. Okay, killing those mobs. Most of the casters and people struggle to do damage here. But you just, in fact, you just don't know how to do damage. It's very easy though. Demo implosion, but Demo has to stay in cast. Demo is like a turret. He has to stay in cast all the time. It's just not gonna happen. He's gonna die because of the stacks. Very simple. You need to play bowstring stacks correctly to gain time in a week such as this. Even if you play one pack by the time, you can still time probably 20 keys if you don't wipe. If you wipe, keys over. So you can even play pack by pack and time 20 keys. Petko is the king of the jungle. Thank you, dude. Yeah, this is a full of nice. Yeah, this is all nice from you, but Tanks wants rats to make such a stream. I mean, I think he does sometimes. I started playing Elemental Shaman from watching you play, really? Nice, dude. Elemental Shaman is fucking poggers. What things are good if you don't rate? Oh, that's very hard then. I'll probably say Conch from Shrine and Ignatius Mage Fuse from Doldegor last boss. Now, as I said again, you can use earthquakes here because you pretty much tank the mobs and you don't have to move. If mobs are moving all the time, you can just simply use earth shocks. But since my tank Rats decides to tank the mobs like a man and he never kites, I can just freely use earthquakes. But he's here. Stop, Rats. Did you enjoy the Pocket adventures today? Anyway, now the moment that you're all waiting for: how to bug the boss in King's Rest. How to bug it? How to bug it, boys? Well, unfortunately, that's something I cannot discuss with you. Without my team permission, I cannot discuss with you guys. It's very secret. Nobody knows that. It's top secret, boys. I don't know if I should tell you or not. It's something that if I tell you, I'm gonna put my team into disadvantage, you know. So how did we trick the boss? So look at this. The boss doesn't do any mechanics right now. He just stays AFK. He does nothing. Wait, did I just rub my titties here? Let me just check. Wait a second, did I? What did I do here? Look at that. Did I? Gachi bass, dude. Okay, dude. That's my jam. But what if it's not secret? Obviously it's not secret, everybody knows how to do it. Okay. Killing this boss, blah blah blah, not important, blah blah blah. Killing this shit. Okay. So, next pack is probably the most dangerous pack in King's Rest. Why the fuck my music stopped? Thank you. Now, I'll tell you at the end. Promise. Now this pack is probably the most dangerous one. The reason why is because you have two casters, and you have a berserker, and you also at the same time you have bolstering. So if you queue one caster off, you will bolster the berserker, and if he gives one debuff to you, you're probably dead. You need to free the entombed person before the boss gets to the coffin and starts casting? No, wrong. The reason the only way to bug that boss, the only way to bug this boss is when you click fast enough before the boss even moves. So it's not even a bug, it's something that's been in the game since the past 2 months. It's possible to do 24 kills without bugs? Of course. I'm sure you can Google it if you don't know. Of course you can Google it. Everybody knows how to skip that. It's just that not everybody can do it. You need to have a reaction timer less than a second to click on the right coffin at the right time to bug the boss. You know? So you need to have a system, and you need to have some kind of an order to do it. So you need to be really fast. That's the secret. It's no secret. Like, you need to be fast with the fingers to release the guy in the coffins, then you just gain time, gain speed. If you do that, you're probably gonna get around like 30 to 40 seconds, even more. Anyway, this is the reason why I run Storm Elemental, by the way. Watch this. Spread burst between the mobs. Pet about to be banned for exploit? I mean, if you don't exploit this game, the devs will never learn. And you have to exploit the fuck out of the game, so they will learn and see. There are so many bugs in this game. If I tell you everything, it's probably gonna take me like 1 hour. There's so many bugs and so many exploits that, to be honest, has not been fixed yet. Even the zoo skip. Do you guys know the zoo skip? People skip Shadow Zoo. You know, this is how broken the game is. And it's funny that they don't do anything about it, although these bugs have been reported. It's just not fun to play sometimes. Anyway, we deal with this pack swiftly. Back to the next pack. So, this is one way to play. Who's whispering me? Whispering me. This is one way to deal with this pack. Usually, as a DH, you can use Blade Dance to soak the debuffs of the Berserkers. So, a DH can use Blade Dance to soak the debuff of Berserkers. Rogues can use Riposte to soak the debuff. Monks can parry. I can take it with my pet. That's it. And Druids can dodge as well. I missed the tempo skip to last boss bug last season. Zoo skip is quite new, isn't it? Yes, it's like it's been around for like a month. Nobody reports them because it makes 45 King's Rest actually playable. No, that's not true. We, at least myself, I have been reporting this for the past month with evidence, and nothing has been done. On the PTR, it has been fixed. In MDI, they told the teams not to do that exploit, so the people won't see what's happening. It's so just incredibly silly to not do it. So remember, when you fight Berserker as a team, a DH can Blade Dance, a Rogue can use Riposte, a Monk can dodge, you can use Earth Elemental, or you can use your pet to soak a stack. A Druid can also dodge. Now look at this. This is what I call the Monka S. This is so dangerous. Now, you play in this small corridor. It's like a game, you know? It's like a Russian roulette. These raptors, they jump on random targets. You have less than a second to react to move left or right. If you don't move correctly, you're gonna die. Also, this Beastmaster every 5 seconds has a deadly shot. A deadly shot usually has a blowback. If you're here and you get hit by a dead shot, you're gonna fly to the next pack and you're gonna put in the whole team is gonna get wiped. Also, it has a poison barrage that is like a AoE, like this. It's spread AoE. If you don't stand near your teammates, it's fine. But if you stay around your teammates, if you spread the toxic debuff to them, they're gonna die. So you have 4 ways to die here. It's so Monka S, you have no idea. This is like one of the hardest packs. Look at this now. This is the only way to play it. You stack up like this, and you have to move. Look at this. Insta stun when they jump. I love it when they fuck up something and the only solution they have is ban. I mean, what can we do, brother? Shit like this happens, you know? Blasting those packs. Look at this. I'm ready at any moment to move left or right. At any moment, I'm ready. If they jump on me. Jump on me, insta run. Look at this. Jump on me, insta run. Anyway, skip this. Okay. Now, this pack is even more dangerous. I'll tell you why. You have Enchanted Emissary, you have a Caster, you have Berserker, and you have a Witch Doctor. Witch Doctor usually frost shocks one guy for like 300k, plus it gives you a healing tide totem that has like a small radius that heals the mobs for 10% HP each tick. And you have this space to move. This small box. If you go here, you pull next pack. If you knock Emissary too far away, you pull next pack. Right? It's so incredibly Monka. Most of the teams, they fail on this part. This is where teamwork shines. So we have one guy calling interrupts. The one guy calling interrupts. You have one guy calling soaks for berserkers. You have one guy controlling the emissary. And you also have one guy that takes care of the totem all the time. If you don't play as a team, you're gonna crumble here and you're gonna die. And that's the truth. This is why we can time such high keys, because we played together for so long that we know each other. Look at this. One frost shock, instapot. Look at my eyes. Look at my eyes. I'm just like focusing, and I see my HP drops, instapot. I don't even think about it. It's instapot. Next frost shock is in 13 seconds. Look at this. Now, as a priority here, if it wasn't bolstering, you wanna kill the caster first. But it's bolstering. That means if you kill the caster first, you're gonna bolster the witch doctor, you're gonna bolster the berserker, and you're gonna die. So it's so fucked up, right? So you need to kill them at the same time. But it's very, very, very hard to do it. Look at my DH. My DH doesn't even cast here. He holds blade downs to soak the debuffs, because he knows that's the only time that we can wipe, is because if somebody doesn't soak. I call the interrupts, my tank kites away, and he calls the soaks. Now that's it. Also, new affix this year, very good. Yo, Petko, I tried to learn from Storm Elemental, but I'm not sure about my stat work. 30 crit, 70 haste, 24 master rate, verse, drop a bit crit and has a lot more haste. Try to aim around 20 haste. I find this pack easier than the last one. Sure, maybe. Can you always the frost shock? Not really, because it's gonna recast. Unless It's an instant cast. Okay, we play this pack, nothing too important. We play this pack. This pack is also Monk S. We skip here. Oh, engaging this boss. So, to time High King's Rest, you wanna have a good rotation for that, right? A good rotation consists of having Butcher either first or second, never last. You want to have the charging guy last. The charging guy has to be last. If the charging guy is a first, that means he's gonna be charging you pretty much when you're fighting this mob and the totem guy. And it can create really nasty overlaps. For example, you can get charged, plus the totem, you know, they spawn this stuff on the ground. You can get charged plus the axe and you're dead. So in order to time such high keys, you need to know, you need to actually be aware of what the rotation is for King's Rest. Will we time 25 key this season? Yes, indeed, Soundwave. I promise you that. Okay. Now, this boss is extremely dangerous. Because if it puts one debuff on you on 24 keys, it's extremely hard to survive. Unless you have a wall, or double wall. DH can use Blade Dance. Rogue can use Riposte. You can just soak it. And Druid soaks it. And the tank cannot get it. So, the first debuff is on me. I'm getting Insta Bark. I use my wall. And I also have Earth Elemental. That has a second. Look at this. I use my Earth Elemental to use my second wall here. So you have double walls, Shaman. If the next debuff is on you, and you don't have any defensive, it's just better to die. It's not worth to heal this shit. Just better die. A good DPS can DPS and dodge this thing at the same time. Play Dwarf and play in press the stone form. True, or you can do that. Okay. Now, I'm gonna show you the value of the Shaman here. The value of the Shaman, boys. Now, let me just forward a bit. Look at this. This is something that my teams probably don't my team probably don't understand, but this is what I'm doing. Look at this now. Now, when this boss casts Call of the Elements, there's a 4 totems here. There's an Earth Shield totem that gives every 3 to 4 seconds 400k shield to the boss every 4 seconds. You have a magma totem that explodes if you don't kill it and kills everybody. You have a silencing totem every 7 seconds of your cast, you get silenced. And you have a tide totem that spreads AoE on the ground and you have to dodge. And you also have access you have to dodge. And also at the same time you need to interrupt the boss. Now look what I do usually. So I have this boss. Now look at this. I instantly look where's the magma totem. Where is the explosive totem? I instantly look for this. Look at this. I find it here. Flame shock. Instant lava burst. And now look at this. I want you to look at this bar right here. Now, perch and interrupt. Look at this. Instacast. I see shield. Perch. DPSing. Hold on. And we're gonna queue that. Blah blah blah. Okay. Look at this now. Second totems. Again, second totems. Finding explosive very fast. Get explosive. Boom. Kill it. Look at this. Perch. 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 Every perch saves team DPS. When you perch that, you make the boss vulnerable, so he can take damage all the time. Holy shit. I need to focus a bit. So you as a shaman, if you don't perch that boss consistently, your group DPS will decrease. But no, if you don't perch the boss, your group DPS will decrease. Therefore, your time is gonna be slower. If you perch the boss consistently, your overall group damage will increase because the boss has no shield. So my job is to kill the magma totem, the explosive totem, to interrupt correctly, to perch at the same time, and dodge everything on the ground. And also keep in mind, I need to keep in mind that there is a silencing totem. If the totem silences me and locks me on nature, I cannot perch anymore, and I cannot interrupt. So it's very important to keep also track on that. So you need to be able to multitask if you want to time such a keys. You need to be able to multitask, and that's something that you only learn when you have played the game for long periods of time consistently. That's experience that you get from nowhere. So as you can see, flame shock on this totem, flame shock on this totem, and lava burst towards the boss. And you have 14 seconds to kill the boss, otherwise he's gonna spam another totems. That's like a time loss. So killing this boss is priority number 1. Boss is dead. Killing totems right now. Okay, this is very easy. You know, we don't need to discuss it. You pretty much when you get targeted, you have to stack and then get soaked in a line. If he targets you, you have to stack in a line, and you get less damage. If you're a DH, you can use blade dance. If you're a rogue, you can vanish that. You can riposte that. If you're a monk, you can run out of the platform. You can transcendence back. There's many stuff to dodge it. I'm pretty sure that all classes have something to mitigate that, but pretty much the safest way is just to stack and soak this together and just receive damage, but just don't die, pretty much. Now at this point we knew that we had enough time to complete this dungeon. All we had to do is just not to die. So we kill the boss right now. Boss is dead. Yep. We shroud this all the way. Now this is very important. When you shroud this on the way back to the zoo and the last boss, when you go, if you cross this area, you trigger an event. You trigger the event of the bridge that unlocks the bridge towards the last boss. Now, when you trigger that event, you get blinded for like 2 seconds. Look at this now. When you walk over here, look at this. You get blinded for like 2 seconds. And if you're not careful about it, if you have a numlock on, like if you press numlock to run away, you can get into this pack and you can pull the mobs and you can break the shroud and you can die. You know? So it's very important for you to just manually press W, wait a second, and then just continue after the event is over. you can instantly start to walk once the bridge is open. Not an issue. Now, this is the infamous skip everybody talks about. Now look at this. There's one way to do it. You can shroud it from here, or you can use invis spots. Invis spotting, everybody invis spotted, and you go all the way downstairs. You skip zoo completely. You skip zoo. You don't even bother with zoo anymore. You skip downstairs. Obviously, Rats was a monkey. He has to die now. Minus 15 seconds for the team, but that's fine. Killing. Okay. Now, your DH can skip this if he stands on this platform. Then he has to jump right here. Then from here he has to jump right here. Then from here he can go all the way to the boss with the what is it called? The gliding. Once he's here, he's gonna trigger the boss, and when he dies, he resets the boss. He opens the gate, and you can pass. Meanwhile, what we're gonna do is we're gonna kill this VoD Misery although it's very bad, you're gonna kill this VoD Emissary to gain the count we needed. My second boss was enough to kill third boss in a good time. Our second pod. I see. It is fine. Now you blast that VoD Emissary. You do the skip pretty much. Okay. Now the final part is probably the easiest part. Just kill King Dazar. Nothing too complicated. It's just straightforward fight. Just keep pumping the boss. General rule: you want to keep your lust and cooldowns for whenever the Tsala jumps from the cage. So Rezan comes when the boss is like 85% HP, and Tsala comes when the boss is like 60 or 50. I think 65%. Maybe I'm wrong on the percentage. Now, periodically this boss will either use a good slash, this tornado, or he's gonna target you like this. And if you don't run away, you're gonna die. So when he targets you, you're gonna just run away and you take less damage. If you are in this center right here, if you are in this center of damage, you're gonna die. So you need to run left or right or whatever you want to avoid the damage. I usually use my wall whenever I see this on me, and I just don't bother with it, right? Some people prefer to just run like headless chickens. I like to use my wall and stay towards the middle, so I don't lose DPS. Okay. Thunder rotation. When you have Star Elemental up, you spam lightning bolts and earth shocks. Lightning bolt, earth shock. Lightning bolt, earth shock. Okay. Now, Reban comes in. You have two options: play safe or play for time. Obviously, we cannot allow ourselves to play for safety because we don't have that timer, right? So we play for time. So instead of focusing Reban, we're gonna focus in King Dazar. So you're gonna keep one flame shock on Reban just for ignition, just for lava burst procs, and you're gonna try to sidestep when he jumps on you. When he jumps on you, you can either thunderstorm it away, you can angel knock it away, you can typhoon it away, you can ring it away even. To prevent that. Look at this. He comes to me, I just sidestep. Now, this Tsala does a fear to the whole party. Look at this. Death roar to the whole party. Now, when she uses that fear, you can use Tremor Totem to prevent the fear. And therefore, you prevent somebody's death. Because sometimes, how many times, chat, have you died from like overlaps? For example, you get fear into a Reban and you die. How many times? Look at this. You get feared. You get into a tornado and you're dead, you know? Or you get feared, the Reban jumps on you and you're dead. It's just a nasty overlap. It's like a gamble. It's like a Russian roulette, you know? So you have to be aware. Now look at this. I want you to look at something, what I do. When I get feared, I turn around, look at this. This motherfucker jumps on me instantly, look at this. So instead of sidestep left or right, what I decide to do, I sidestep forward and I insta knock. Look at this, insta knock it away. Let's put it in a normal motion. Look at this. This is a normal motion right now. Let me just roll back for you. Look at this. He comes to me, boom, that's it. He's like, yep, see you, mate. Killing Tsala. Second fear here. Sidestep again. So you need to make sure that you're fast enough with your fingers to prevent you from dying to avoidable damage. So the good players and the bad players take a lot of avoidable damage here and there. If you're a good player, you take less avoidable damage, therefore your healer has to spend less time on you to make sure that you can actually pump DPS. Look at this. Now instead of just DPSing, I just thunderstorm this guy away so he doesn't bother my teammates. I want to make sure they're safe and they can just pump the DPS. Hello B, what's up? Look at this. Look again. He jumps on me and look at this. He jumps on me, insta engine knock. I don't even think about it. I just know what to do. That comes from experience. Wait, what did they say? Okay, ninja, he comes here, BAM! Hold on, what wait. What did they say here? Dude, I'm like a ninja, he comes here, BAM! Let's go. He's like, what the fuck happened to me? I'm fucking monkey. What do you even say? Okay.
Any blood of the enemies left or?
No, but Inkpot now.
Oh, Inkpot.
Here come.
No, I have blood of the enemy in a minute,
Boom.
yeah, so I'm still gonna get
I'm gonna die here, I think. Yeah, I'm dead.
Hammer is fine.
I don't have anything and I'm soaking like a not a smart person.
Use engine knock instead of shoot? Yes.
Don't die.
Just woke up? Nice, B.
You won't die, but it is costing me the death.
Yeah, I know.
Vanish.
Vanishing?
Okay. At this point, we knew that we just don't have to die to get the key. So we just had to play it safe here. Like, the boss is like at 4.5 million, 45 seconds, or more than enough time. So you just have to survive here. But this is what we did. We just played it safe.
Just DPS.
Second pot in combat.
Nice. Benny? Oh no, it's. As long as red survives.
And at this point,
That's it.
we just knew that's it. It's key over. We just did it because there's like nothing can kill us, right?
It's done.
Like at this point, nothing can kill us. The only thing that can kill us is if Rats dies. Even if Rats dies, my DH can taunt the guy off and just run away here. If Rats dies, that's like minus 5 seconds. It's 11 seconds left, and the boss usually dies when he's like at around I think 2%. Or 1.5%. Look at this now.
There's nothing holding.
Oh my
Sit.
god, I instantly.
And that's the reaction, boys.
Yes, baby.
Oh, man.
This is hard.
Holy
That's the reaction,
This
boys.
is hard, baby.
Was,
Hard.
pretty close.
Let's
That's
fucking
Oh
go.
my god, I inted last part so fucking hard.
Fish it.
I think I
And you can just ignore the you can just ignore the fishing part. You know, it's just you can ignore the fishing part. You know, you just pretend you haven't heard it before. It's fine. And that's pretty much how to play King's Rest 24. Did you guys learn something from that? But ideally, if you want to knock the Raptors back to the melee, right? So melees can continue cleave ASAP. True. Yes, ideally, yes. Would you use font at this low of HP or just keep DPSing? Just keep DPSing. If Rats disconnects, doesn't really matter. At this point, he can just DC as much as he wants. Boss is dead. There's nothing that... Listen, even if Rats DCs, his body will stay here, so the boss will mindlessly like punch him, and we're gonna kill it anyway. If Rats DCs, we can like the boss will just punch him until he dies, and then we're gonna kill the boss. So either way, it's fine. You know, even if he DCs, he's like a dead body there. And the boss is like, bam, bam, like clashing his ass. You know. So eventually, he's gonna die. But awesome, GG's. Cool, boys. I hope you learned something from that. I hope you learned something from that. Poor Rats. Dude, Rats always take a set in the ass for the team. Like, he's like the like a punching bag. Take this debuff, soak this, bursting stacks, necrotic, every bad thing is going to Rats, you know. But pretty much, this is how you play King's Rest as a team, and sometimes you have to take the bullet for the team, you know. That's what I've been trying to tell you for the past probably months. You need to be able to take the bullet for the team. If you don't want to do that, then don't play Mythic Plus. You need to be able to take that bullet for the team. You have to do it. There's no other way. You have to do it. Bullet for the team, and you win the game. Easy, you know. Easy. Like, even sometimes I'm telling you. Do you guys know the Underrot boss, the third boss, the Shroom boss? when you don't have anybody to soak a shroom, for example, you need to make decision. You need to either suicide and your team survives and kill the boss, or you have to die. Like, I'm gonna show you a clip. Hold on a second. Pretty sure I have a clip like this. I think once I soak something. What was it? Clips. Okay. Look at that. Hold on a second. Look at this. Can you see something? Look at this. Now, this is what I'm talking about. Now, there is a shrooms around the boss, and if you don't kill it with the shockwave or with the upheaval debuff, these shrooms explode and gives debuffs to the whole party. Therefore, you're gonna die if you don't soak them. So sometimes you have to choose. Look at this. Now, my rogue has no cloak. Okay, so my rogue has no cloak. We have 2 CRs, and I have to choose. Do I let my team die, or do I just die myself? So I decided to take the ultimate sacrifice. Look at this.
Alright, boy.
So I knew I'm gonna die, so I just have to take it.
It was good knowing you.
That's it. You take it and you die, and you prevent the whole team of dying. Like, this is what we call suicidal Joe. Sometimes you need to make the sacrifice for your team. You take it, you know, and that's it. That's the part. Okay, just ignore this reaction here. That's like ignore the reaction, but that's pretty much what I want to talk to you. You need to take the bullet sometimes for your boys.
Alright, boys, I'm gonna soak this one right here, okay? This is mine.
I'm back poison again. Okay, that's enough. That's pretty much it. How to play as a team. I hope you guys learn something. I hope from this day onwards, it will not be called brainless monkeys anymore. You're gonna be smart monkeys. From this day onwards, I believe, boys, you guys learn how to play as a team. Therefore, you are more aware now what to do. Now, that being said, you already evolved from a monkey to a chimpanzee. You know, you're like now you're a bit smarter. You now have more brain, dude. Next time we're gonna do the review, you're gonna evolve from chimpanzee to gorilla. Or probably you might never become King Kong, but at least you're gonna become close to the King Kong, you know? So make sure next time you tune in again and we're gonna talk about some different stuff. But that's pretty much now for the VoD. Thank you guys for watching. Now it's time.